Welcome to yet another episode on financial wellness. Today we shall be laying the foundation on our journey to better financial management. Uh, Financial wellness is a function of a balanced life. So in looking at financial wellness, we do not focus only on finances alone. There are other pillars in our life that are critical to the quality of life. So first, we have the physical wellness. For us to be able to have a quality life, we need to take care of our physical bodies, which is a function of three elements. First, we have the nutrition, what we eat. We need to consider what we are consuming. Second, we have physical exercise, that is mobility, movement around. And thirdly, we have the question of hygiene, combining cleanliness as well as how we sleep hygiene. The other pillar that we have is mental health, where we look at our mind and taking care of our mind so that we minimize stress and such factors that may hamper the quality of our life. The third pillar is our social connection, because as human beings, we are social beings. So we interrelate with other beings. We have friends, we have families, and as we travel the journey of financial wellness, they have an impact. They have a role that they will play into the how our finances will pan out. Next, we have spiritual health. Here we look at our religion, our beliefs, and how grounded we are in terms of our spiritual journey, because again, it as well impacts on our financial wellness. And of course, the final pillar which we shall be focusing on for this episode is financial health. How do we become better in terms of our money management so that we can live a fulfilling life? And because financial health has an impact on all other pillars of our life, starting right from physical health to social health to spiritual health, all these will be impacted by our financial health and our financial wellness. So, to start our financial health or taking care of our financial health, the first thing we need to consider is having a plan. You need to come up with a plan so that you have a roadmap of how you will come from where you currently are to a better place. Whether you're doing well or you're not doing well, you need to move from where you currently are to a better place that you'd aspire to be. So the first thing you need to have is a plan. And for your financial plan, you start by assessing where currently you are. You need to determine, and that is the first step, so that you don't base your plan on, you don't fail to ground it on a proper foundation by establishing what is your current status. So the first thing you need to assess, you need to determine three things. The first one is your assets. You need to identify all the assets that you own. And when you talk of an asset, here we are looking at a resource that you control, from which you expect future economic benefits to flow to you. Anything that you own is an asset. And we have depreciating assets, things like vehicles, things like furniture. Then we have appreciating assets like land. We have stocks like shares in the market. We have government bonds. We have investment in SACCOs, share capital deposits. We have money market funds. Any balances we have in the bank, all those are assets. So you need to enumerate all your assets. The second thing you need to identify in coming up with your plan is your liabilities. So you need again to enumerate all the liabilities that you have, from the mobile loans, from the SACCO loans, bank loans, anything that you owe or amounts that you owe people out there or entities out there. So you identify your liabilities. And the third thing that you need to do is to determine your current average monthly income. So you need to estimate how much do you make per month. So if, for instance, you earn once per year, maybe in form of dividends or interest, you can average per month. If you earn on a monthly basis, you add up that amount. If the amounts that you receive on a weekly basis, then you need to sum them up so that you can get an average per month. So those three parameters would then represent where you currently are, the position at which you're starting to come up with your plan. So based on those three parameters, then you come up with a plan that is pragmatic, that is realistic, rather than an imaginary plan where you're saying, if I get a million, I'll do this. If I get 5 million, but that is not what you currently have, that is not what you currently are receiving. So once you come up with that plan, you then need, once you come up with the status where you currently are in formulating your plan, you need to come up with a projection for the next 1 year. What are your priorities for the next 1 year? What are your priorities for the next 3 years? What are your priorities for the next 5 years? Then 10 years, and finally 20 years. And these plans will then need to be documented, which means you have to write them down either on a notebook or in a computer. You need to type them up. So you need to have a record of these plans so that you are able to follow them up, the plans that you have. So once you have established the status, then you need to to implement this plan that you have come up with and document it. So you need to make sure that you're sticking to the plan and following up to the plan, which will be a function of personal discipline, an element that we shall be discussing in our episode, in our next episode, on how can we stick to this. Because many people will say, I always come up with plans, but I do not follow them up. So we will, in our next episode, be assisting you to determine how to follow up these plans and make sure that you are implementing and monitoring the plan to fruition. Now, in the implementation of this plan, there are two major elements that will impact on your plan. One of them is debt, how much debt you have, and for what purpose you have used this debt. And in a different episode, we shall be discussing personal debt management, because debt can derail your plan, or debt can help to hasten the plan in achieving your goals. So we shall dedicate a whole episode to the discussion on debt and how we organize debt. Then the next item that will affect our plan is savings. We need to save consistently, and we need to determine how we save even when the economic times appear to be difficult. So we will it is vital that you save. And the question I like to ask people is whether we save and whether our savings are likely to lead us to financial success. So the question is, when should you save? And you should save each and every time you receive your own money. Each and every time you receive your own money, then you should save. How much should you save? The next question that you may ask is, the saving should not be an amount, but a portion, a percentage. So you'd come up with your own specific percentage and say, I will be setting aside 10% of all the money that I make, or 15%, or 20%, or 25%. So it should be a percentage rather than a specified amount. And how do you determine this percentage? Well, the percentage often is based on your age at the point at which you start. So if you're starting maybe at 20 years or thereabout, you can start at 10%. As you start late, then the higher the percentage. If you're starting at 25 years, probably you could do 15%. If you're starting in your early 30s, you could do 20%. If you're starting approaching late 30s to 40s and beyond, then you could say 25% of all the money that you ever make. You start by paying yourself first by saving. So the idea of saving is such that you should pay yourself first before you pay others, by saving first. So you should start by saving. And saving should be outside your comfort, because should you wait until the point at which you're comfortable for you to save, then you're likely never to save. And if you try and save maybe what remains, then it becomes too little for you to make any meaningful gain. Ignoring the returns on investment. For example, if you're to imagine someone saving 1,000 units of a currency, maybe $1,000 or 1,000 shillings per month, for them to make 1 million, it will take them 1,000 months. So if you're to save 1 million, saving 1,000 takes you 1,000 months. And we know that a year has 12 months. So if you take 1,000 divided by 12, then that would give you 83.3 years before you can make 1 million. So saving, one, has to be percentage based or proportion based, so that regardless of how little you're making, you're still saving. Secondly, it has to be a commitment that you have to go beyond what would be comfortable for you. You have to push yourself to make sure that you're meeting that threshold, the percentage that you've set yourself. And finally, for this episode, whenever you save, you must make sure that your saving are in an investment. that your savings are not just lying idle in an account. They should be generating some returns. So in our next episode, we shall be introducing investments from a broad perspective. And then in subsequent episodes, we shall be able to narrow down specifically where do you invest. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for listening to us. Kindly let us know below in the comment section what you think about the episode, any ideas that you may want to share with us, and kindly hit that bell, like, subscribe, follow us on our social media platforms. Thank you very much.